Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today we'll be looking at the logging railway from the Bricklink Designer Program Series 2. I pre-ordered this set along with the Brick Cross train station back in June, and they got here back the first week of November. Yeah, actually, it was November 1st that they arrived. So a lot sooner than I was expecting, which was awesome, compared to some of the sets I got from Series 1, which were the old train engine shed and the general store, which took about the full 5 or 6 months that they state that those sets will take to deliver. But here in this video, we're going to be focusing on the logging railway. So it looks like it's going to be a very cool set to build. A nice little display piece with the bridge and, of course, the train, which is pretty much the main reason why I got it. I think probably along with most people, but the bridge will be a nice piece to add too. So the box, here it is. It is official Lego product for those who maybe are not familiar with the Bricklink Designer Program. There it is. It's a lot similar to Lego Ideas. There's a minifig scale for reference. There's the side of the box. Got the black with the Lego bricks on there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Pretty simplistic design, but I honestly really like it. This is another view of the set, just from the back view. Set does come with 3 minifigures. The other side got this same design as the other. And back to the front of the box. Bottom doesn't really have much. It does tell you, though, that you can use the Lego Builder app to build the set as a form of the instructions if you don't want to use the PDF files on the Bricklink website. But yeah, that's about it. Let's go ahead and unbox this and get to reviewing. So just in case you don't know what the Bricklink Designer Program is, Bricklink is an online Lego marketplace that was recently bought out by Lego a few years ago. And the Bricklink Designer Program is a very similar concept to Lego Ideas, where sets will go through a support and selection phase. But unlike Lego Ideas, where sets are widely available for a couple of years or so, Bricklink Designer Program sets must go through a crowdfunding phase that only lasts about a month. In this phase, sets must reach at least a 3,000 pre-order threshold in order to become a reality, and a maximum of 30,000 sets will be produced. Sets still use official Lego parts and are made in the same factories, but they don't necessarily have to be up to the exact Lego standard for design choices, which is why you'll see some pretty unique builds sometimes. This set in particular was part of the Bricklink Designer Program Series 2, and the only way to get it now would be going through third-party sources such as eBay or Facebook Marketplace. So right away we get another box that includes a few things such as this card, which has some information about the designer on it. And on the back side of it, it's got the links to the instructions, since the instructions for these sets are available only in a digital format. There's also a sticker sheet, which there's only 4 stickers in this set, which is not too bad. They're pretty nice and not too much needed with only a small locomotive and a bridge. There's also one unnumbered bag with the magnetic couplers, some longer plates, and some longer Technic axles. There's 2,731 pieces in this set with 18 sets of bags, 31 bags total, not including the unnumbered one. A lot of the build goes towards the bridge, but it's going to look really cool along with the locomotive. So let's get to the review. Here is the completed build, and it looks really great once it's all put together. The building experience was kind of tedious at some parts because there is a lot of repetition in this set, especially when it comes to specifically the bridge, but also the log car has quite a bit of repetition too with the logs and then the bogies as well, but not a huge problem. The bridge actually didn't take me as long as I thought it would. I was going to hesitate on building it because I just wasn't sure if I was going to have enough time in my personal schedule to build it, but I'm glad that I just stuck it through and finished it because it looks really cool. And actually, the bridge is funny because I thought the bridge was going to take me a lot longer than it did, but it didn't. And I thought the locomotive was going to take me not that long because of its size and it's smaller, but it actually took me a little longer because there are kind of some complex techniques getting into it. So let's go ahead and dive into the locomotive and the train cars first. So here we got a 040 tank engine named Toto, and it's a really honestly adorable locomotive, and I love it. It's got functioning side rods and plenty of details to go around for even for just a small frame, which is great. Now this train can be motorized. It fits on a standard train motor chassis, so you can just swap out the bottom of this for a train motor and it'll run right off the bat. All you need is that and a battery box. You don't even really need a remote because you can just download the Lego Powered Up app on your phone to control it via that. But I do recommend getting a remote just in case you don't already have one for the Powered Up system. It just makes it a lot easier that way. You don't have to use your phone. But yeah, so the train's got like a little clear headlamp there. You got magnetic couplers on the front as well as the back, which makes it nice for so you can shunt and do all sorts of fun stuff. On the cab for the interior, there's not too many details, but it's just enough. You got a firebox in there. You got the wood for the firebox, some levers and gauges, and even an axe in there too. So it looks really neat, all put together. The roof of it does come off, so you can easily more access it to put a minifig in there. And then when you're done, it just snaps right back on. Now, I did have one problem with the Locomotive. It was a similar problem I actually had. I have the Lego Ideas Orient Express set, kind of similar problem to that, but when moving the train, the side rods tend to like to get stuck. And that's not just an issue because of this track here. I've put it on the other regular Lego track around, and it does the same thing. So I tried messing with it originally because when I was first building it, it was fine. And then it started doing this, and I tried messing with it, and it was working again, and now it's back to this. So if you have any suggestions in the comments, please let me know. But yeah, otherwise, it is a great Locomotive. Maybe this issue is just with me, I don't know. But yeah, so it's great. And let's go ahead and move on to the next car. Next, we have the generator car, which there's not too much to it. I do like kind of like the wood paneling here and the little rails on the front and back. But this is actually the same color scheme as a Lego Powered Up battery box. So that's what you would, this is where you would put the battery box if you're going to motorize the set. I have plans on motorizing it. Just at the moment, I do not have a spare train motor or battery box, and currently on the Lego website, all the train motors are sold out. So I will have to wait for a little bit. But as soon as train motors are available again, I do plan on motorizing this as soon as possible because I think it'd be a really cool little build to have running around. So yeah, there's the underside. It fits right on there. And there we go. The next car is the wood car, which this was kind of, it's definitely kind of fragile, I would say. The logs, I mean, they stay in there actually pretty well, a lot better than you would think, because there's nothing holding them on the front or back or clipping them into the bottom here. This is all just flat tiles. So the only thing that's holding them in place is these chains. But it does a pretty good job because they don't really fall out. So it works great. The only thing is that sometimes it will be a little loose, or if you do that, then they'll have more of a chance of sliding out. So you gotta kind of make sure they're stacked like that. And that way they won't fall out. But like I said earlier, it was a little tedious putting it together, but it wasn't too bad. I was actually able to knock out putting these logs together really quick. I do like the details on the wheels. There's not much to it, but it's nice to just have that stuff there. Now let's go ahead and move on to what I think is probably one of my favorite parts of the set, the caboose. Now I know it's just a caboose, but this definitely did catch my eye when I was looking at the set on the Bricklink website originally. And it is just such a cute little design, and it fits the set really well. You got some lights on the back there, you got doors on both sides along with ladders all the way around to get into the car, and the roof does come off too. You just gotta kind of pull it up on both sides, and which, by the way, the roof does use some pretty interesting techniques to build as well. But here's the interior. You don't got much, but it's nice that the interior is 6 wide as the entire car is 8 studs wide. You got a couple chairs, some small saplings. You got that's the furnace here to keep the occupants warm, and then you got a chainsaw. So they actually I think they managed to fit quite a good amount in with the space they were given. So let's go ahead and just push this back together, and all in all, the train looks great. Let's go ahead and just move on to the bridge. So I just went ahead and set the locomotive on the train tracks behind. We'll run it around a little bit with another engine so you guys can kind of see it in motion on the tracks. But here's the bridge, the trestle. It's got a slight curve to it, so it would be a pretty wide radius, and it would be kind of hard to incorporate it into a layout. So it works great as a display piece, don't get me wrong, but it would be really cool to find a way to incorporate it into a layout. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do that with mine, but I've seen a couple of videos where people have kind of just made a small little setup or integrated it some way. Now you can, if you really want to, you can make this a straight bridge. I noticed that when I was building it, but I just went with the instructions just to make it curved, just to add that element to it, because I'll probably just strictly be using it as a display piece. It actually is pretty stable too structurally. It is sometimes though, or bits that maybe not necessarily fragile, but parts will like come off. So that is just one thing, or maybe it's just the way I built it. I don't know. But yeah, so these rails work pretty well for what it does, and it looks really cool. You couldn't do this with standard Lego train track, as you can see. Just the gray wouldn't work, even if this was just say like a straight bridge in general. It just wouldn't quite work with this track. But let's go ahead and just kind of run the train around a little bit so you guys can kind of see it in action. All right, I got the train set up on the tracks with the green Lego City passenger train set up behind. I had to take the side rods off. I mean, I didn't have to, I guess, but just for the sake of easier running, I took them off so it wouldn't get stuck, and it made it easier when I was testing it out with that guy too. So, but right now the engine kind of looks like the Thunder Mountain Railroad roller coaster train. So that's kind of fun, I guess. That was a mine train technically, and I mean, this is, I guess it's a little different, a logging train, but kind of similar though. But yeah, I don't have a full circuit of track yet at the moment. I kind of ran out, so still working on that, but that'll give us a good chance to see the train going in forward and reverse. So let's go ahead and get it started. And yeah, so it runs really well, and hopefully once I figure the issue out with the side rods, it'll run just as good. So yeah, but that is the logging railway. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment, especially if you got a suggestion for these guys here. But I hope you guys all have a great day, and thanks again.